was exciting. The P-51 in World War II flew above the bombers and protected the B-17s, B-24s from being shot down by the German fighters. And our job was literally to protect them on the way to the target and the way back. Oh, suicide. You had a hell of a feeling because you knew it was dangerous. Down near the ground, we were strafing trains, trucks, or planes, or radar stations like me. And you were close to the ground. The Germans had anti-tank guns and aircraft guns. They're trying to shoot you down and you're trying to shoot them down. And it was a dangerous fight. You were subject to be shot down, ended up as a POW like me. Life as a prisoner was never easy. Outdoor toilets, just a building. Food was at a premium, always. Weather was always rough. Life was rough.
The center compound where I was primitive. We had no water. We had a wash house, but no toilets. The only toilet facilities was a trough at the end and a bucket. We had a old-fashioned circular stove for heat. The soups that the Germans gave, we called them the Black Death and the Green Death. They were barely edible.
With a silent longing for loved ones whom we never quite sure we would see again. It was equally difficult. It was life as a POW. One or two out of the 10 men in the room had nightmares. We had a lot of men who just couldn't take it psychologically. Anytime the Germans are firing at your plane and explosions in that belly of that plane and your comrades are hit, their insides are all over the plane. You see horrible death, all hell breaking loose, and you age. This is where boys became men overnight.
December 1944, there were 3 rumors. One rumor is the Germans are going to kill us all because the Russians are now only 100 miles away. They're at Auschwitz in East Poland. The second rumor was the Germans are just going to pull stakes and run away and leave us for the Russians, and that was equally bad. The third rumor was they're going to walk us out of there. By this time there were 10,000 of us, so we're sitting there. There's no way they can walk 10,000 prisoners out of here. January 29th, we found different. We started walking. At 2 o'clock in the morning, it was about 10 degrees temperature and about 8 inches of snow on the ground. For the first 5 hours, I don't remember seeing anything except the rear ends of the 3 men ahead of me. We walked 12 miles that night. No water. You can eat all the snow you want, it doesn't quench your thirst. You're still just as thirsty. Some of the men had somehow gotten small sleds. Several men had bad frostbite and blisters and were limping. My best friend from navigation school had such bad feet he had to be carried in one of the carts, which brought up the rear with men and the guards' supplies. The 4th day we walked about 10 miles, and we slept outside that night.
It was cold as hell, and you walked along with the rest of the men, always hungry, simply surviving, simply surviving. Life in the United States as a black man, as a Negro, in 1940 was hell. POW life was mild, considered segregation and discrimination in the United States as a black man in 1940, 41, 42. Even when you got home, racism, segregation. At least in Stalag Luft 3, I was treated as an equal human being, under the circumstance of hunger, loneliness, and all the other things, food, despair.
The defense of your country is the highest thing that you can do. Some wounds are worse than others. Actually, there are always wounds which never should have happened, but that's going to be true in civilian life. So it's not always fair. Most of us never for a minute thought that we were doing the wrong thing, even in the prison camp. We believed it was right, that the other side was wrong politically and in God's name.
Life is beautiful, only if it's your attitude. The experience has been exciting, worthwhile. It's been part of me all my life.